Hey, what's going on, everyone? NoZoupForYou here, and today we're going to take a look at the Marco Polo, the Tier 9 Italian battleship. Feels like it's been a while since I've done a ship review, and I'm looking forward to presenting this ship to you all. It's a fun ship. It's different. It took me a while to get the hang of. I wasn't liking it first, but once you figure it out, it is a very beneficial battleship. It's a lot of fun. I'm not big on the Italian battleships, or the pasta boats as we like to call them, on the whole. I'm just not. I feel they're a little too squishy for my taste. But Marco Polo is a little different, so I'll get into that here in a little bit. First, I want to tell you a little bit about the ship itself. We're going to go over some stats. I'm going to tell you how my ship is laid out. First, with my commander skills, I've got Luigi Sanzanetti on there, and he's got some good attributes that I feel help this ship. First and foremost, gun feeder, which you get a little bonus with that. So it takes 75% or minus 75% to switch guns. Also running consumable specialist, though there's really no value at that. I think it's because I borrowed this captain from another ship that there was a reason to have that, so you can just ignore that. I do have my secondary, long-range secondary battery shells on here. I tend to choose that over Adrenaline Rush, but you know, that's personal preference. Adrenaline Rush does help you. It is a good skill to take, but I personally like that extra 20% secondary battery firing range. You know, sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't, but all it takes is one hit to cause a fire. So, you know, that's one thing to think about right there. Of course, I'm running Deadeye. Everybody runs Deadeye. You have to run Deadeye. It's pointless not to run Deadeye unless you're going for a straight secondary build, which I am not on this ship. Lastly, fire prevention. And I took Concealment Expert as well. So that is the loadout I have for captain skills. And I'm going to tell you the ship stats, and those ship stats are taking into these skills into account. So first, you got survivability, 69,100 hit points. So that's somewhat generous, not too bad. You have 3 turrets with 3 guns each for 460mm guns. That's pretty good right there, but you know, there are some aspects I don't like about these guns. Reload time is 31.7 seconds, and that is after taking reload booster for an additional upgrade, and I just feel that's kind of lethargic, but you know what? It's okay. It's not that bad. We'll deal with it. As with all the pasta boats, you get AP and SAP. Your SAP can do a maximum shell damage of 14,100, while your AP can do a maximum damage of 13,050. Your range, 19 kilometers, and your shell velocity is 836 meters per second, which is a tad on the slow side. So keep that in mind when you're leading your ships. AA defense is a solid 76. It's not great. It's not bad. Maneuverability on this ship. Maximum speed is 33.6 knots with Sierra Mikes. Turning circle radius, 860 meters. And your rudder shift time is 16.7 seconds. I do want to touch on maneuverability in a little bit, though. I think that's one of the better aspects of this ship. Concealment. You have a detectability range of 13.2 kilometers, and that's closer to what the old school detectability used to be for USN battleships. I think it was about 13.4, even on the Montana. So you've got good concealment right there. Want to go over real quick just the upgrades that I took on this ship. In the 6th spot, I took main battery modification 3 for that reload time boost, negative 12%, which still didn't get me under 30 seconds. It's a lethargic reload, and it feels like it takes forever sometimes. I did take concealment system modification 1 to decrease detectability even more. I took propulsion modification 1 as well, along with aiming systems mod 1 to decrease dispersion of my main battery shells. Took damage control system mod 1, and last but not least, I had damage control party mod 1, which is the upgrade. So there you have it. For consumables, this ship is a little different than the other pasta boats. You do not get the smoke. You get a spotting aircraft, You get repair party, but you do not get smoke. Now, for the repair party, you do get 4 heals, which is kind of nice. But that's no different than the Lepanto, which gets that along with smoke and your choice of fighter or spotting craft. Now, the big difference between the Lepanto and this ship is the size of the guns. The main battery on the Lepanto is only 381 millimeters, though you do get a couple more barrels to eke out a little bit more, and you do get some more hit points. You get 75,900, and you get more torpedo protection damage reduction as well at 47%, whereas Marco Polo is only going to get you 27%. You do have better detectability than the Lepanto, and your maneuverability is better as well. So there are some definite trade-offs between the Lepanto and the Marco Polo. So let's get into the pros and cons of the Marco Polo. This is the fun part. So like I said, it took me forever to figure this ship out. Well, it didn't take me forever, but I made the big mistake in the beginning of trying to use AP shells a little more than I should have. Now, don't get me wrong, if you've got a cruiser broadside to you at about 10 clicks out, yes, if you can get AP loaded to perfectly square on hit that ship, that AP is absolutely going to devastate that ship. I mean, it's not bad to use the AP. But in most circumstances, almost all circumstances, I found that the best way to play this ship is to just leave sap on there. The sap has such a good benefit to it that I don't see a reason, except for those few times that, you know, that ship presents yourself broadside, there's really no reason to switch to AP. Sap is, it's almost like HE on a Thunder. I mean, you really can't escape damage from it. If you're a battleship, you're going to get pegged with it, and you're going to get pegged for a lot of damage. 10,000, 20,000, while you can't hit citadels with it, or at least I've never seen it happen. I mean, you can hit citadels with HE, so one can assume that there's the odd occasion or two where it happens. Actually, you know what? That's interesting. I want to know, has anyone out there got a citadel with sap? I mean, is it even possible? Is that part of the mechanics? Because I know it can be done with HE, and we see that regularly with ships like Conqueror, but sap, I don't know. I've never asked. I've never seen it. I've always assumed that you couldn't, but maybe it's one of those things where once in a blue moon. Anyhow, back to the point at hand. Keep sap on. There is no reason to switch back and forth, and that's, I think, where I made a lot of my mistakes when I first played this ship. I think I switched back and forth too much, and as a result, I lost out on a lot of damage that I could have been doing with sap, trying to do with AP. So sap, in I would say 80 to 85% of all situations, is a better choice than AP, and it's going to do an absolutely large amount of damage. I mean, even against tier 10 battleships, you can find yourself doing 10 and 20,000 damage per salvo. I mean, might as well be Citadel hit. So sap is really good on this gun. AP, not so much. Survivability on the ship, I want to touch on that. This ship does feel spongy. That is probably my biggest con with this ship. It feels overly spongy. You can get hit, and you can get hit hard in the ship from varying angles. I mean, the thing feels like a floating citadel. If you look at the armor layout, I mean, there's a lot of critical areas that you can get hit. So that is probably the biggest con with this ship. And for those players that like a tankier battleship, you might have a little bit of trouble with this ship. You're going to find that it is just not as strong and as tanky as you would like it to be. And the fact that you don't have quite as much AP as the Lepanto, that might hurt as well. You might not like that. AA, like I said on this ship, it's not horrible. It's there. I mean, it'll shoot planes down. If they're tier 8, tier 10, you're going to have a little more trouble with. Maneuverability on this ship, I actually feel it's pretty good. I feel like this ship can get up and go. I feel like it can turn pretty good. To me, the maneuverability on this ship felt like one of the stronger aspects, and it was kind of fun to navigate this ship. Also, concealment, that helps you a lot, and you're going to want to use that concealment to your benefit when you can, because again, you are spongy. Now, like I said, this ship does not have smoke. I don't think it hurts it though. I mean, really all the smoke does on the other pasta boats is it gets you into trouble, or it can. It gives you a false sense of security, and it allows you to wander too close to the enemy. Not so much on this ship. So overall, the Marco Polo is a pretty decent premium battleship. For those of you that were wondering, I think it's going to find a fan base. Again, if you're looking for a brawler and something that can take a hit or provide survivability, this is not going to be the ship for you. But if you're a player that is good at maneuvering your battleships, good at choosing the best position to be in, utilizing all the terrain key features to your advantage, if you've got good aim, this is probably going to be the ship for you. It's more of a kiting battleship. I feel it is. You know, you're not going to want to rush in with this thing. But that sap, it can be devastating. So in the right hands, this ship can be an absolute monster. So I would say the skill ceiling on the ship's a little high. Again, it's not going to be for everyone. If you consider yourself a more skilled battleship player, I definitely think that you might want to take a look at this battleship because it can do decent for you, especially with that sap. That sap is just, you know, I'm not a huge fan of sap, especially because I play destroyers, and sap has the tendency to absolutely wreck destroyers, especially coming from cruisers. But again, yeah, I wouldn't bother with AP on this ship. Stick to sap, and you'll still do mega damage in this thing. But yeah, it's fun. It took a while to warm up to. At first I wasn't liking it, but once I figured out that, you know, there's no point switching to AP, I unlocked more damage potential. I did a lot better, and I enjoyed this ship a lot more, and I think a lot of you will enjoy this ship as well. So let me know what you think, and I will catch you all later. Zoop out.